I've been testing and using air fryers for 6 years now, and as a mum of two very hungry boys, trust me, these things never get a break. School lunches, after school snacks, weekend grazing, and that often heard sentence, "Mom, is there anything to eat?" moments. Our air fryers earn their keep. Hi, I'm Meme and welcome to my channel. I review appliances full time and I spend at least 2 weeks, if not more, with every air fryer before I decide if it stays in my kitchen or gets boxed up and given away. If you want full demos, reviews and real cooking tests, you'll find all of those videos on my channel. I'll link them below. In this video, I'm walking you through all the air fryers I've used this year. I'll be comparing Ninja, Philips, Cosori, T-fal and Typhur. A bit of everything, single baskets, dual baskets and ceramic ones. But I'm not just reading specs, I'm sharing how they behave in real life, how much space you actually get, how fast they cook, how loud they are, how easy they are to live with, and which ones I'm comfortable letting my 12-year-old son use. By the end, you'll know which one fits your home, not mine. So let's get into it. Before I get into performance, we need to talk about coatings because this is the part that confuses everyone. Almost every air fryer on the market today uses an aluminum metal basket underneath. That part rarely changes. If the entire thing were truly ceramic, you'd feel the weight instantly. It would be heavy like a ceramic casserole dish, not something you'd lift with one hand. So the real difference between models isn't the metal, it's the non-stick layer on top of that aluminum. There are basically 3 types you'll come across. First, you have the full PTFE coatings, very similar to the classic Teflon. Philips and T-fal use this on both their baskets and trays. The Ninja dual basket is also PTFE coated, even though the tray is not. The second type of coating you'll see are reinforced with ceramic. These are sometimes labeled as nano ceramic, which is really just PTFE blended with ceramic particles to make it stronger. The Ninja dual tray, Ninja crispy tray and the Cosori basket and tray all fall into this category. And third, you're now starting to see fully ceramic coated PFAS-free baskets and trays like the Typhur Dome 2 and the Typhur Sink. So if coatings matter to you, that's the real difference. The metal underneath is almost always aluminum. It's the non-stick layer on top that changes the safety, durability and maintenance experience. Now cleaning. This is something you feel every single day, so it matters, and I get asked often how easy these air fryers are to clean. Every model in this lineup uses silicone tabs on the trays to stop them scratching the basket. Most of them pop off easily so you can wash underneath and snap them back on. Cosori, Ninja Dual, Philips, Typhur Sink, all pretty simple. The tabs on the Ninja Pro and the double stack are fixed but can be rotated to clean under them. This means you won't lose them. The Typhur Dome 2, unfortunately, those tabs are stubborn, they're rigid, they don't flex much and you almost need a tool to lift them out. Grease likes to settle underneath, so cleaning that one just takes a bit more patience. Most of these baskets rinse clean pretty easily other than the Philips models, which I find is a pain because of the swirl design, which is supposedly to help airflow. I, however, found it makes no difference. And the Typhur Dome 2 has unfortunately left me with some stuck-on residue from all the steaks and pizza I've been cooking directly in the basket. The dual basket designs do mean extra washing of baskets and trays and a place to leave them to dry, so double the basket, double the load in everything. The glass bowls on the Ninja Crispy are designed to prep, store and cook, giving you less dishes to worry about, and you even have a backup if one is being used up. Before we move on, if this is helping, just give it a quick thumbs up, and if you're watching early, tapping hype really does push it out to more people and it helps me out too. I really appreciate it. People always ask me, does higher wattage mean it cooks faster? Honestly, not really. It depends on the design. The Philips 2000 and Ninja Crispy both sit at 1500 watts, but they behave completely differently. The Philips cooks slow and gentle, amazing for juicy chicken and vegetables, but the Crispy cooks way hotter than it looks because the heating element sits so close to the food. It browns fast, heats fast, and cooks more like a mid-range air fryer. Then you've got the weekday warrior wattage, around 1690 to 1725 watts. The Ninja Dual Zone, Double Stack, Pro XL and Cosori Turbo Blaze all fall into this group. These are the fast ones. Strong airflow, quick browning, great for frozen food. The only catch? You have to check early because they will dry out delicate foods if you forget. For the double stack, I do want to mention their rear heating element design and ability to cook in 2 layers. It only works well as long as you remember to press the double stack pro button. If you forget that button, the top layer cooks much faster than the bottom and everything ends up uneven. So the power is there and the airflow is good, but the results depend completely on using that feature properly. And then the highest wattage group, 1750 to 1800 watts, the Typhur Dome 2, the Typhur Sink, the Philips 3000 Dual, and the T-fal infrared. They all sit in the same wattage range, but they couldn't cook more differently. The Typhur model uses their power gently and evenly, and that's because of how they're built. The Dome has two heating elements, one on top and one underneath, so the heat spreads across the whole basket instead of blasting your food from a single direction. And the Sink uses its wireless probe to control the heat more precisely, so it never ramps up airflow aggressively unless it needs to. Both feel powerful, but in a calm, controlled way. The Philips 3000 is also 1800 watts, but it's actually pretty slow. The airflow is really soft, so everything cooks gently. It's great for juicy chicken, but it's not great if you're impatient. And then you've got the T-fal infrared on the complete other end. It hits full power instantly, no preheat needed, and it cooks fast, like really fast. So wattage looks nice on the box, but the design is what tells the real story. Let's talk about something people don't always realize. Two air fryers can claim the same quarter size, but the cooking surface space inside feels totally different. This is where the chicken and potatoes test really shows what's going on. When I place my 1.8 kilo whole chicken into the Philips 4-quarter, even though it's the smallest, it still has a bit of room around the edges because the basket is round and wider. When I place the same chicken into the Ninja Dual 5-quarter, it still fits, but the basket is tall and narrow, so everything feels tighter and airflow has less space to move. And when I tried the Typhur Dome 2, the chicken simply can't fit unless you spatchcock it because the basket is wide and flat with very little height. But that same shape can hold a ton of potatoes because the surface area is huge. The potatoes reveal the same pattern. Wide baskets let everything sit in a single layer. Narrow baskets are a tight squeeze and leave very little room for airflow. And flat baskets give you the most room as long as you're not cooking foods that need space to rise or have height. The real point is this: it's not about whether something fits, it's about how it fits and how much breathing room is left for the air. If the food is touching the sides or sitting right up under the heating element, you're going to get uneven browning and slower cooking because the air has nowhere to go. So when you watch these capacity clips, don't focus on the quarter number, look at the shape. Display panels change everything about how an air fryer feels to use. The Ninja Pro XL is the only one with raised clicky buttons. These are honestly my favorite. Reliable, satisfying, and they don't care if your fingers are damp or dusty. The Ninja Dual, Double Stack and Crispy use push buttons, which are also solid. But like anything mechanical, I do wonder about the long-term wear of these buttons. Then we have the touchscreen panels used by Philips, T-fal, Cosori and Typhur. They look modern, but steam, grease and humidity can make them less responsive over time. And the top-down panels, like on Cosori, Philips 3000 and the Typhur Sink, are not only the worst for fingerprints and dust, but if you ever need to flip your air fryer over to give the heating element a good clean, there is a risk of damaging or scratching the panel, so you have to be extra cautious and lay down some padding. And just to add, the Dome 2 is the one air fryer I don't flip over. It's heavy and the dome shape makes it a bit awkward. Thankfully, it has a built-in self-clean cycle that burns off grease around the heating element. It even reminds you when it needs one, which honestly makes my life easier because there's no chance I'm tipping that thing upside down. Touch buttons look bright and pretty, but honestly, the clicky buttons are the easiest to live with. Now let's talk about how these actually cook, because wattage means nothing if dinner comes out dry or if the thing is so loud you avoid using it. The fastest cookers in this lineup are the Ninja Pro XL, the Cosori Turbo Blaze and the T-fal Infrared. They're also the best priced if you don't want to spend big bucks. The Cosori is quieter than most high-speed units and the T-fal has this surprisingly calm hum, even though it cooks the fastest out of all 10. A tiny bonus tip, the T-fal has a little water zone you can fill to keep chicken and veggies juicy and tender while still getting a crisp outside. These three are best suited for a family of up to 4 to 5 people. These are my busy evening, everyone's starving, just get it done air fryers. They heat fast, they brown fast, and they're great for frozen foods, wings, nuggets, all the quick dinner stuff. Whether you love to preheat or skip, the T-fal doesn't need preheating at all because the heat instantly hits. The Cosori has a dedicated preheat button that you can turn off, and Ninja doesn't believe in preheating, so if you really want to, you have to run the air fryer empty for 5 minutes. I do want to mention the Ninja Dual Zone and the Double Stack here because they get misunderstood. These two aren't the fastest cookers, but they shine in a different way. They let you cook more food or two totally different foods at the same time. That flexibility is their real strength. The catch is whenever both baskets run together, things slow down. You're pushing a bigger food load through the same amount of heat, so even though it feels like you're saving time, it's not actually any quicker than doing 2 quick rounds in a single basket. You just finish everything at once, which is convenient, but not faster. These are great for a family of 5, perhaps 6 if you're pushing it. These Ninja Dual units are a bit expensive as well, closer to the 300 mark, so it's worth waiting for a sale before grabbing one like I did. All the Ninja models win both awards for sound in fan noise and beeps and the lack of an auto pause and resume. So every time you remove the basket, you're hit with a blast of hot air, and you have to remember to hit the pause or start button. It's not dangerous, just not something I let my son handle alone. Then we have the gentle juicy group, the Philips 2000 and Philips 3000 dual. Soft airflow, slower cooks and very forgiving results. The Philips 2000 is the cheapest and the 4/4 is ideal for 1 to 2 people. This is my son's favorite because it's lightweight, has a window and is fairly easy to use. The Philips 3000 can feed 2 to 4 people and is the quietest out of the 3 dual models in this lineup, just slower when both baskets run. Again, for the same reasons we just talked about. Then there's the precision group, the Typhur sink and the Typhur Dome 2. The sink uses its wireless probe to keep meals perfectly cooked without blasting high airflow, and the Dome 2 uses its dual heating elements like a tiny pizza oven. It also forces preheat on certain modes, which can be a little annoying when you're in a rush, unlike the sink which has a dedicated preheat that you can choose to use. Both run quieter and more controlled than the Ninjas and can feed up to 6 people easily. The Dome 2 is more than double the price tag of the sink, and since the sink has more to offer in terms of wireless probe and PFAS-free coating, this is the best overall in my opinion. It has a similar price tag to that of the Philips 3000 Dual and the Cosori Turbo Blaze. And finally the Ninja Crispy, the little powerhouse. It's only 1500 watts, but it cooks hotter than it looks. This is great for 1 to 4 people, it's great for snacks and family meals once you get the hang of it. It's portable for the office or camping. There is a learning curve because the temperatures aren't adjustable, so that can be quite daunting for some, but once you figure it out, it's fun to use. This one has currently earned a permanent spot on my counter for convenience and space, but I don't let my son use it on his own because the hot glass and the exposed heating element makes me nervous. So overall, you've got the fast cookers, the gentle juicy ones, the steady precise ones, and the crispy that just does its own thing. Once you figure out which cooking style matches your home's rhythm, choosing one becomes so much easier. I actually gave away both the double stack and the Philips 3000. The double stack was heavy and it was impossible to move around, especially when I'm filming and I need the counter space. If anything, it slowed me down more than it helped me. And the Philips 3000, as lovely as the results were, it was simply too slow for my routine and my very impatient family. They're solid machines, just not the right fit for my kitchen. At the end of the day, they all cook with heat, but they don't cook the same way. Some are fast, some are gentle, some are quiet, some are loud. What matters is what fits your routine. My quirks may not be your quirks. I notice things like top-down panels collecting dust, heavy baskets, loud beeps, awkward silicone tabs because I live with these daily. You might not care about half of that. You might just want something that makes good wings. Hopefully this gives you a clearer picture of how these behave in a real busy kitchen with real kids and real snacks happening non-stop. If you are stuck between 2 models, drop them in the comments and I'll tell you which ones I'd pick and why. If you have another model you'd like me to research into, please let me know in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you will love the next one, so be sure to subscribe.